Today we're going to be making a pork sirloin roast. Raided the refrigerator to get zucchini, bell peppers, onions, lettuce, cardinal cabbage, potatoes, and some carrots. And I like cooked carrots, so I've got 2 per person. This should make about 6 servings. I've also got some homemade spaghetti sauce we made from last year's garden tomatoes, and some red wine. This happens to be a blend of Sangiovese and Cabernet, but any red wine. I thought about using a Dutch oven for this, but I'm going to use the slow cooker, and I'm just going to brown the meat in a stovetop wok. I'm going to start by pouring on a little rosemary-infused olive oil. A pinch of kosher salt, not too much. I'm not real big on a lot of salty flavor. Some ground black pepper. I'm going to put a little extra on for me. It's going to cook down. A couple of tablespoons of flour so I get some crunchy bits in my pan. So let's just roll that around in there. Get those flavors all over that meat. We're going to heat at medium heat and get it good and hot before I start. A little more of the rosemary-infused olive oil. My oil looks good and hot, so let's brown the meat. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit because the meat will cool it off. I'm going to turn it up pretty high, just to where it starts to smoke. I'm going to cut up a few of the vegetables. Let's turn the meat again. The meat's starting to get some color now. Let's turn it a couple more times to make sure it's good and brown. That looks like the color we're looking for. Well, the pork looks like it's brown enough, so I'm going to take it out and put it in a bowl set aside here. And now I'm going to toss in some of my harder vegetables. Bell pepper and some red onion. I'm going to give it a little stir and then add some red wine and let it simmer till it's just softened up a little bit. Whoops, we got a carrot in there. That would have been okay, of course. That's looking pretty good. And it smells good. I'm going to put in a little fresh thyme. I had this left over from another recipe, but, well, you know, 2 herbs always gives a little extra something. Now I think it's time for the wine. We'll make sure it's still okay. Julia Child would. I think it's perfect. That looks about right. And a bay leaf. I think bay leaves always go in stews and soups. I'm also going to add just a little bit of water. It's simmering nicely now, so I'm going to add the carrots and potatoes. And I'm just going to toss them through that wine and onion mixture. The aroma's pretty good already. I think it's time to add the tomato sauce. That doesn't look like too much to me. I'm going to heat that up and bring it back to a boil. So far, it looks pretty good. Here we are. We're going from stovetop to crock pot. So I'm going to use some tongs to move the first few vegetables over. That'll kind of keep it from slopping too much. We'll get some of those big pieces in there. I could use a big spoon. I have no idea what this is going to taste like, but I think it'll be good, or I wouldn't be doing it. That got our water or liquid level down a little bit. Now I think we can pour this in here. We're going to be very careful though. Yeah, that's working. Now let's go back for the meat. In with the zucchini. Top it with some cabbage. On with the lid. Well, there it is. I'm setting the automatic slow cooker to automatic. Then I can take off for the day, and when I get home this evening, dinner's going to be ready. Won't have it